What's up, guys? So this is a video where I'm just going to answer your guys' questions. So a few weeks ago in a live stream, somebody asked how they could submit questions to the live stream, but I've really never thought about that. I never really, thought about having questions pre-submitted to a live stream. But instead of doing that live, I thought that I could ask on Twitter and have you guys send me your questions and then just make a whole video out of it. So first up, we have Chase on Twitter asked, if an older company could come back, what would you like to see? Hybrid, Spyder, Smart Parts. Well, first of all, Spyder is still a company, so they're still around. But I don't know, I think of old companies that were cool. Definitely Smart Parts was one of them. Hybrid was one of them. Sly was one of them. But I don't know, I definitely lean toward Angel. I worked for Angel for a little bit there. Used Angels forever, and I always thought their guns were like way more technologically advanced than everything else. Like they were the first gun to have like a big LCD screen. It was cool because they had like a temperature thing on the gun. You can, I don't know, just tell the ambient temperature. It was useful for something, I guess. I don't know, it was just fun. It just seemed like their guns were way more advanced than everyone else. So it'd be kind of cool, I think, to see Angel come back and maybe see what kind of technology they could interject into paintball. So yeah, we're gonna go with Angel. And then we have Jeep something. In your last stream, you said you love the thought of mechanical in Pro Division. What do you think could be done to draw more of the pros into the ICPL or ICC? So like, 10-man stuff. Could a Pro Mech class alongside a Pro Electro class provide benefits, we'll say, to the sport as a whole? Probably. I mean, one thing that I've always liked about paintball, and one of the things that I've always liked about paintball, we'll say, is the versatility of play, right? I mean, we do have this 5-man airball stuff, and now we're getting more into, or I should say like, this 10-man stuff is kind of coming back. So we have like 5-man airball, there's this 10-man woods ball, hyperball stuff. We have mag fed, we have pump. You could go play with a slingshot if you want. So I like that versatility. What's really kind of interesting about paintball, right? So like I played paintball, I played speedball, we'll say forever. And I don't know, recently it's not been as fun to me, so I want to kind of like venture out into the mag-fed category. But like, I don't know, could 10-man be good for growing paintball? Yeah, for sure, because it's more variety. That's what I liked about the old days when there was the PSP and the MPPL. We had 5-man and 7-man. Just more variety for more styles of players, right? I think that the Pro Division for 5-man style like we have right now in the NXL definitely requires like athleticism and like fastness. Whereas in the 10-man division, you can be an old fat guy and still be good. So I like that versatility, and then it kind of like maybe, phone fell off my lap, kind of maybe draw more players because of the versatility of gameplay and versatility of players. So yeah, I'm all about 10-man. Yeah. You also asked, I guess, kind of how like we could like draw more players to 10-man. And I think it's just showing how much fun it can be. Because I think along the way, this 5-man NXL, like very like high-end tournament stuff has become not as fun because it's so serious. And I think the 10-man, because the players are a little bit older and really are just there to have fun, I think the whole atmosphere is just more fun. And I think showcasing that fun and just like letting people know how fun the 10-man tournament and 10-man paintball is, I think could draw more people. And Brap10K, we'll say via Twitter, is the Field1Force really that good? 20 hours into Vegas Open on GoSports, and I have seen Dynasty swab one barrel, compared to hundreds of times watching everyone else consistently having to swab barrels on every other brand. I think the Force is a good gun, right? Like, I really like the ergonomics, really like the trigger frame. Gun shoots well, like it's quiet, doesn't kick a lot, and I'd say it, shoots just as well as all the other high-end guns, right? Like it's not going to shoot like way better than like the Mac Dev guns or the Planet Eclipse guns, the Die guns, the Lux. They all shoot really well. But what I really did find with the Force is just how easy it was on paint. I've played with the thing, I think, 2 times now, but went to the paintball field and I was very, very surprised at how easy on paint it was. I mean, the paint that I was shooting in this video was breaking from like 8 to 10 inches off the ground consistently, and the Force was handling it fine. I mean, I didn't break paint all day long with it, and it was fairly impressive. So I think the Force is a very good paintball gun, and from my experiences, yeah, easier on paint, but it is lacking a lot of those features that some of the high-end guns like the CS2 and the Lux X are. So it's a good paintball gun, but still I don't know if it's that great of a value. Okay, next up. New Jersey Bombsquad Black asked, through the decades starting with the 80s, what has each decade brought to the sport? That's kind of hard. So in the 80s, I mean, you know, paintball, because in 1970s we just didn't have paintball. So, you know, the 80s brought us paintball, certainly. And then I would say the 90s is probably when we saw like good stuff start, right? I mean, we saw autocockers become a thing and automags became a thing and electronic guns became a thing. So I think that's when like we saw huge advancements in equipment. It was really the 90s with compressed air, autocockers, automags, and electric guns. And then we'll say 2000, I think we probably saw, well, let's say, did you say just equipment or just paintball in general? Let's reread this. Yep, just paintball. Then I'd say the 2000s, so like 2000 to 2010. I'm just gonna go with tournament paintball just got bigger, right? I wanna say that the MPPL and the PSP and like X-Ball and like all this stuff, that's when really all the big tournament stuff started. And then maybe 2010, I don't know. 2010 to 2020. I don't know, 2010? I have no idea. What do you guys think the best advancement or biggest advancement in paintball was in 2010 to 2020? I have no idea. And then Auggie Lo asked, outworks, I think he means workouts, should be included in a tournament player's routine. So one thing I think is a good idea is to look at, and I think we could do this for every single sport, right? If we're playing paintball, right, we want to get better at snap shooting, you want to get faster, you want to get, you know, be able to maybe get lower quicker or something, you know, maybe diving better. And I think that looking at the tasks that we perform when we play paintball, right, like snap shooting, coming out, you know, snap shooting and running and shooting and diving, we should look at all those tasks and like figure out the muscle groups that we need to do them, right? So like running, right? You know, you want to get faster at running, you got to use those leg muscles, you know? So I honestly think that just doing sprints over and over if you want to get faster is a good thing. You want to work on leg muscles, obviously, if you're going to get sprinting. Glutes, hamstrings, quads, your calves, everything is going to come into effect. And then snap shooting, we want to look at core for sure, because you're coming out, you're controlling your whole upper body. So having a strong core, so abdominal muscles, and a strong lower back and upper back is going to dramatically help with snap shooting. But then you could also say that having a stable body in general is good, right? Like if you want to get faster at running, you're going to want to work out your lower half, but you don't want to get like a weird imbalance, so you want to get a strong upper body to kind of balance that lower and upper body out. So I don't know, I think that I was gonna say specific things, but like just get stronger everywhere, I guess. That's what I'm doing, right? Like I've talked about getting better at paintball, and I go out and do sprints by myself. I literally like run like, I don't know, 50 yards, stop, walk back, run, sprint 50 yards. I've been doing that a lot for the past couple weeks, as well as just on working out at home. Working out at home just because, you know, quarantine, so we got like bands and body weight exercises. And then Holly asked, favorite paintball gun you've ever owned? I don't know, like I always say a specific one, but I would say, I don't know, I was looking at like old pictures of paintball guns I've owned the other day, looking through these questions. And I think the coolest paintball gun I've ever owned is probably some of the old classic Ripper Intimidators. So I've actually owned 3 of them. Here is a picture of one. This has like a bunch of cool aftermarket parts on it. You know, back in the day we were cobbling these guns together and putting like different frames on them and different triggers and all kinds of stuff. So I really like these Ripper Intimidators. This is probably a gun that I would like to own again. But I think that like the best performing gun that I ever owned was probably an Angel G7 Fly. There's probably not like a common like opinion or whatever, but my G7 Fly was amazing. I had the doo-doo brown version, had like a bunch of cool like prototype aftermarket parts. Like I said, I worked for Angel, so we had like a bunch of neat parts in there. That gun was insane air efficient. Like I could get, I'm not joking, 18 to like 1900 shots off like a 68 4000 fill. It was pretty crazy. I love that gun. I kind of wish I still owned it. Sold it to a guy in Germany for like $2,000, so I'm okay with that. G7 Fly, probably the best paintball gun I've owned, but God, I love those Ripper intimidators. And then Jack White asked, I'm sure you've probably answered this question before, but what got you into paintball initially? Was there someone in the community that did something or behaved a certain way that really stuck out to you? What got me into paintball initially really was just buying a gun off eBay in, had to have been 2000, the summer of 2000 or something like that. I just bought it off eBay to shoot a fence because it looked cool and fun. And then looked it up on the internet and was like, oh God, people actually play this stuff. And then just went out and started playing paintball. And it was kind of over from there. And weirdly, you ask if there was one person that stuck out, right? Because there was this gentleman named Don Riniker. Don is a local Sacramento paintball legend. Don had been playing here for a very long time. Don does not live here anymore, but Don was awesome, right? I mean, he talked to my mom and was like, oh yeah, just have him come out, and was like just introducing everyone to everyone, and was a fantastic ambassador to paintball. And he's one of the reasons that I'm playing paintball right now. Yeah, so Don Riniker. So definitely buying paintball gun off eBay randomly, and then meeting Don. I mean, he kind of like helped introduce me to paintball. It helped, I don't know, make me more comfortable with playing, and make my mom more comfortable with it, I guess. So Daha asked, what can we do to help paintball? I saw this question because it kind of actually tied into my last one about Don being awesome, right? And one of the things that I notice in paintball a lot is we're a very small community, right? There are not a lot of people playing paintball around the world. There's not like hundreds of millions of participants and like people making millions of dollars playing, and like there's not a lot of us, and there's not a lot of money in paintball. And one of the things that I think that we all can do to help paintball, so allowing paintball players and fields and stores to make more money, having more people come into paintball so that all those businesses can make more money, which makes it cheaper for you, which makes more products for you guys. The best thing we can do is be good ambassadors to the sport. We can be like Don, right? Go talk to that new kid that looks uncomfortable and have him come over and hang out with you guys. Maybe there's a parent that looks uncomfortable. Maybe, I don't know, anything you can do to be a good, positive ambassador to paintball is something we all can do. And that's especially true online. Like, there are so many people online that just hate and complain about everything involving paintball, right? Like, the NXL cancels a tournament because there's this worldwide pandemic going on, and everybody complains. Like, you know, you think it's their fault? And like, products come out and people complain. So I think the best thing we can do is be more positive and not be so negative. That's something I'm trying to do on this channel and just in life in general. There's no reason for me to be negative about paintball or life in general. So being positive, we can all do that. So I don't know what that was. That was a video. If you guys want to support this channel at all, you can like and subscribe to this thing. Maybe check out Instagram, Twitter links below so you can follow me on the internets. Check out the Paintball Ruin My Life store if you want to buy a cool hat or shirt from there for your quarantine activities. Yep, thanks guys.